Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telli Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. We are here at the Classic Cat, and this episode is sponsored by 8Lab. I have a very special guest. He is a dancer and martial artist, Fik-Shun. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
Water,
Maria.
yes. I get bad cotton mouth.
I'm so excited to see this drink, guys. So pretty.
Looks like a Beauty and the Beast.
Right?
Rose.
I feel like I'm opening up luxury.
Oh,
Thank you
that's
so much.
crazy.
Look at the petals and everything. It looks so good.
Chocolate chips.
No, it's not chocolate chips. It's
Oh. Okay. I didn't.
I wish it
enough.
was though, right?
That could be good. Oh, cheers.
To
yes.
a successful podcast and me getting to learn you more. So good. Okay, so for the people that don't know who you are or haven't seen you on Instagram doing all your moves and your dance moves and your martial arts move, tell us how you got to where you are today.
Ooh, okay. So my breakout scene or like moment was like dancing on So You Think You Can Dance. I did a show before that, but like the big one was So You Think You Can Dance, and then super fast story. I ended up making it to the end of that one, ended up winning, and then I went on again and won again, and then as fast forward, done jobs and all that stuff, and I've always done martial arts in the background, and I never just put it on camera. So more recently, I've been showing my martial arts for camera, more for action scenes and stuff, and that's been going really well. So yeah, I was actually, martial arts was my first love. And then
Before dancing?
Before dancing,
oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I think I went so hard in dance to kind of rebel against my dad a little bit because he was my instructor. He was like
Your dance instructor or your martial arts instructor?
My martial arts instructor. And he wanted me to do martial arts so bad that I almost didn't feel like I could go do dancing for a career. So I was like, I need to show him I can make this work. And then, So I did that, and everyone knows me. That's when most of my titles or hashtags or @ or Dance 10 Fik-Shun, because dancer, but martial arts in the background.
Got it. So you love martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
That was your first love.
First love, yeah.
Dancing came secondary.
Yeah.
So what made you kind of transition into dancing? What was that kind of tick that you had to be like, hey, I can actually dance?
Ooh, definitely watching all those dance movies that we all love. You Got Served and Stomp the Yard.
I thought I was like a
Save the Last Dance.
You Got Served and Save the Last Dance. I was like, all right, what are we doing? And I can't dance. I cannot.
Everyone
dance.
says that, and they low-key.
I cannot dance.
You drink enough of those, and you'll be fine.
I'll be dancing, but I probably can't dance.
That's the start. That counts to me. But yeah, I feel like with that, and then inspirations like Michael Jackson and like Omarion, Chris Brown, like watching their music videos and Neo. It's like the way you could, for me, capture someone's eye and entertainment through the body always spoke louder than like the vocals for me. Like I feel like I love like singers and what they can do, but when they can move, it's like that. I think is sometimes underappreciated or underestimated on how powerful that is. Absolutely. And that's what I was absorbing. And I was like, ooh. And then probably because I did martial arts first, I already am capable of movement because martial arts is body movement. So it wasn't too much of a jump for me. So it's pretty easy to get into.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like you already could move. Mm-hmm. You already was. How did you learn?
Ooh, I taught myself a lot watching. So there's two ways to like go the dance route. You can be a street dancer or you could be a trained dancer. Or maybe a third way, or you can be a studio kid like who just takes classes, but you weren't brought up in like competition. Mm-hmm. So for me, I was a street dancer, and for us, it's all about being at home, imagining what you want to look like, and then practicing that to look like that. And any idea or creativity you have, you just have to learn how to sell it. And that could be being clean or bigger vocabulary or bigger movement or smaller movement. But training in martial arts, we study our bodies. We have to know every reason why every body, every block, every punch does something. So I just transitioned that to dance. And it helped me learn pretty quick.
Got it. So what do you feel like is... I feel like everyone that knows how to dance has a signature move. Mm-hmm. What is your signature dance move?
Oh, it's adapted throughout the years. It used to be, I used to always like do like a wave to like my butt, and then like I would like pop
To
like,
your butt?
Yes, I would like pop my butt
So
on the
your
beat.
arms goes to your butt?
Not quite. Like you send. So like if I do this, like you're following like the wave, right? So like I would send the wave to like my lower end, and I would like pop on the beat, like move
so
my
send
hips.
it down instead of across.
Yes, exactly.
Got you. I was like, wait, how do you do that?
Yeah. So that was one for a while, and I was like,
that is so funny.
I don't want to shake my butt for too long. Like, and then I started doing like more ground stuff. Yeah,
like
I think humor is like my like not shtick, but most people know me for like for dancing. Like I can be entertaining and funny, make you laugh. And I've always liked that. I'll always like bringing smiles to people's faces.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, how do you do that? Yeah. No, that's.
If I showed you a video too, you'd be like, oh, okay, I see. This is what you do.
No. How you explained it right now makes perfect sense. Okay. I'm like, okay, the wave travels down instead of across.
Yes.
So that's, I get it now. So what about with martial arts? Like, what is your signature move for martial arts?
Ooh, I mean, my favorite move, I love a good side kick. Like, it's like
a flying side kick or just like 1 foot down side kick?
Oh, 1 foot down side kick. It's just, for me, it's so like such a staple piece. It's effective. It's strong. It's like it just pierces the stomach. Like if you hit it right, you can hit someone in the solar plex and just knock the wind out of them. It's like a kill shot, but it's like a sneaky kill shot. That's my favorite kick. Yeah, it's my favorite kick of all time. So I love in competition. I used to throw side kicks all the time. Front leg side kick used to always.
What type of like? Because I feel like there's so many different martial arts. What do you practice the most?
So I've only ever studied in Taekwondo.
Okay.
Yeah, done that my whole life. My dad's a 7th degree black belt, so like that's not all of his knowledge, but a lot of his knowledge is just I've heard it so many times it doesn't leave you, no matter if you're in the dojo or not. So yeah.
I remember I was taking Taekwondo when I was a kid, and I think I got to like a 2-stripe purple and green belt. I want to say it was with 2 little black stripes on it. And that was it.
Yo, it's funny.
So I got there, and I had a bow.
Oh, okay. Like a bow staff?
Yeah, a bow.
Nice.
So I had like a bow, and I can't remember. I want to say like I was like 12, 13, and I was like, okay, I just want to learn enough to get, be able to protect myself as a woman.
Do you feel like it worked? Do you feel like
absolutely.
You retained that? Okay, nice.
I feel like I retained it to an extent. I feel like I remember like my bow. What are they called? Because I feel like there's like different
forms.
Yeah. So like I remember when you bowed in and you bowed back up, like your bow flipped with you, and then it flipped back up with you, and then we had this. What are the? I guess it's like when you do like a certain steps, and like you do the steps, you bow in, and do the steps, and then you bow out. What are those called?
I mean, is that so you do a form? You do a form.
Oh, it's called a form.
Okay, yeah, the whole thing is a form. But you usually sometimes have an introduction too, if you like are competing. So like that's the only time it ever changes. You add an introduction in the beginning, and then you yell for your first move, and you yell for your last move, and then you bow out. Yep.
That's exactly what I was. I remember that. I definitely remember the bow-ins and the bow-outs for sure, and all the kicks and all the punches, and then like bringing it back, and Yeah, I remember enough to know that I did it.
Okay.
Like enough to where it was like, okay, this is how you punch, and this is what you take in, and this is how you bow, and just like it was so long ago, like 20 years ago, but it's like riding a bike. It's like like you said, you go in the dojo. It's like. Okay, I remember that.
Yes.
This is how you do it. This is a horse dance and all of.
Horse dance. Yeah. Oof.
I'm good.
Those get your legs strong. People always ask me where I get strong legs from. I'm like,
oh my gosh, that horse dance and those punches. I was like, get me out of here. My legs are shaking.
Yes. It's such good foundation though. For us, it was horse dance, and then obviously like we get punished, we have to do duck walks. You know what duck walks are?
Oh no!
You gotta
like squat
all the way down like a duck. Put your arms behind your back, and you walk around the dojo until the instructor tells you to stop. And like it's a punishment, but you're building up such good leg muscles.
Quads are on fleek after that.
Oh yeah, when it's time to kick, people are like, "Oh, where are you getting this strength from?" It's like
duck
I don't
walks.
know. Yeah, it's like I'm getting the punishments we're training too. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. No, I loved and very proud and happy that I did martial arts, and I liked the way my dad taught it specifically, or at least our every style has like schools, so I always
Right.
teach like same style, different ways of teaching. Ours was Simba Dojang, and like we were very about like if it doesn't work in the street, then we don't train it pretty
Right.
much.
That's
And
smart.
like in everything we did, we had an application of how it works in the street, because street fights were always told are always different. So like
Right.
it's one of those things where I was never worried to also get into a fight as a kid. To be fair, I was always worried I would hurt the kid too much and I would get in trouble. So like
Right.
if I really want to fight, it was like, man, can I use my art now? Because we're also trained not to use it outside of
Right.
school. And it's like, even if you're mad, right? Like kids like calling you names, it's like, is this my chance? Do I do it now?
Right.
I never knew when to fight. That was my problem.
So when did you fight? Did you only fight during like competitions, or did you fight like if, like, let's say you're getting bullied or you saw someone getting bullied? Did you kind of like, hey, don't do that because I could fight, and really like,
So
maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did it come into like, I guess, your everyday life
ooh,
as a child growing up, knowing that you had the ability to fight?
it definitely. So I'm not the tallest guy, right? I'm like 5'6". I only weigh like 150 pounds. So like I've been short my whole life, and I remember, growing up when I wasn't understanding what I was really learning. Sometimes you can have things installed in you and not realize they're sticking with you. But the world was always bigger than me, and that's fine. And I never knew where I got my fearlessness from. And I think it's because training in the dojo all the time and always fighting and sparring bigger kids, it doesn't feel you almost know what to expect, right? Like
Right.
so at school, it's like most people don't train in anything, especially when they're like young. And if they say they do, we just train really hard. So it was always like, okay, I never worried about that. And
Where it's like your training is not what I know my training is.
100%.
Or like you're training like to play the piano, not to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but we never we can never brag about it though. We can never be like, I do this. So we never talked about it. No one ever knew I did martial arts for the longest time. It was always just like, if they step to you, you don't have to back down like and be disrespected, but you can't throw the first punch. Like there has to
Right.
be a very, very good reason for you to strike. You must feel threatened or be threatened or be hit first or swung on first, because we're taught to block. So like
Yeah.
being
That's
swung
like
on
first
shouldn't
and
be.
foremost. Before punching, you're taught to block.
Yes.
To defend.
So we
110%.
yeah. So I guess it never dawned on me to worry about that. If I ever got bullied, or actually I didn't get. People tried to bully me, but I just stood my ground. And
Right.
and most of the time, I
So
think
how did you stand your ground? Was it verbally or physically?
it was verbally, but I think my intention was they could see it in my face, like
I'm
like
not
if
playing games.
I would have to fight this kid. And sometimes, and what I learned is a lot of people, it's not that they, you can whoop everybody, but some people don't want a hard fight. If you give them a hard fight, or you come off like you're gonna give them a hard fight, they're like, they want an easy
Yeah,
win. Like I'm here to
of
bully
course.
you and just kind of get my fix. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to have you clap back, because now I really gotta.
Nah,
and that's
there's
all.
a situation.
That's a situation, yeah. And it's like, are
Right.
you really gonna go there? You look like you will, so now I'm
You
good.
look like you will.
And that's all I would do. I'd be like, okay, let's go. Like, no more
Yeah.
talk. And I hated talking too much. That was my big thing.
Yeah.
I hated.
It's almost like, I feel like this too. When you know how to fight, you're waiting for someone to try you. You're waiting for someone to be like, oh yeah, punch me if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm waiting to use what I know how to do,
See,
like in real life.
I'm not gonna lie.
Because it's like, it's that trust me, I've been there.
Yeah.
That's a feeling that you have. Like it's just, even like if you train with boxing or taekwondo or whatever it is, whether, you know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like it's almost like a fix. Like it's like where, for me, when I did taekwondo, we would have, I think it was Saturdays or Fridays, we would spar with all our gear on, of
Yep.
course. Like we would spar, and then it was like, okay, I learned all this stuff. I learned all these forms. Now I can use it in sparring. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're like waiting for that sparring day. But it's like when someone in real life comes up to you and it's like, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And we got a problem, it's like, okay, do we really got a problem? Because I really know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you have that feeling of like, do you really want to go this route? Because we can go this route if you want to. You know?
True. And for me, it was 50-50, because I didn't like. I hate getting hit in the face. That's just number one.
Right.
I don't like getting
I mean,
hit.
who does?
But it's funny because I don't like getting hit so much that I psych myself out to where when I actually get hit, like I imagine the punch is gonna feel like a 100 ton of bricks hitting my face.
Right.
No one punches that hard. I've been hit in the face plenty of times, and like when I've gotten hit,
punches hard.
well, they have to like connect, number one, and they have to connect with full extension. There's so many like my biggest thing biggest thing in sparring is if you're bigger than me, they don't expect a smaller person to get close to you. So I always cut the distance off because your strongest punch is going to be when you have the greatest distance to use your length. If I cut that off, your punch is now 50% of what it was.
Cut it off with
I can take block and get close because now the punch just doesn't feel as strong.
Because you're coming in because your reach is shorter.
Exactly. And because my reach is shorter, if I'm on the inside, it's a better fight for me than to stay in your range where you're strong.
It's gonna be a better fight for you in the inside all the time.
Oh yeah. And just also be aware of getting grabbed. But again, for me, I think when I was psyching myself, when I finally felt contact, it turns on this switch in me like, that's it. Okay. And like once that happens for me, you're in it. Like I love that first.
I honestly feel like that's 110% a thing. Whether people want to talk about it or not, once you feel that power hit you for the first time, that's when you know how the fight's gonna go.
Yeah, you're like
110%.
Huh?
It's like, oh, this is when someone gave their entire strength.
Yeah. To
throw that punch. Mm-hmm. You know that, okay, he tried his hardest and this is all he has.
Like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And again, when you psych it up too, like times it 10, then now like it was just to you it was supposed to knock you out. Like me, I'm like, if that first hit doesn't knock me out, I'm like, cool. And even if I blocked it or hell, even if I dodged it, I'm like, oh, you moving that slow? Okay.
Now you
can
see.
I just need one moment of like, the switch is on. Unless I'm mad. Like, when I'm mad, then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to use it. But I don't, see, that's the thing, too. I don't get mad as much.
How do you, like, compose that, like, mentality with, like, there's a situation, right? And it's like, okay, I know how to fight, and I'm mad. How do you, like, compose that mentally to keep it within to not have to use, your martial arts?
I breathe first, and then I make sure that this is what the person wants to do. Because like for me,
smart guy.
Yeah, I just know typically how it's going to turn out, whether they think so or not. And also too, my dad told me we do this forever, and I do this forever. There's not a time where I'm not thinking about how to take someone down, especially if the smallest bit of altercation is starting. I'm already thinking where to hit you, like especially if you're bigger than me. Oh, like I'm hitting you in the nuts. I'm going for your knee. I'm breaking your shin. I'm thinking these things because I know you think you got in the bag. I'm like, okay, and so I'm like, is there a way we can talk this down? Because I'm gonna go for the break. I'm going to hurt you, like because you already got the advantage, right? I have to hurt you. If I don't, you're gonna hurt me. So
absolutely.
If I can breathe and talk it and just be like, it's just switch, because then they know, I think, okay, he's not going to ask me too many more times, and he's not backing out.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And more times than not, nothing happens. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. And I find that better to everyone walk away safe.
Do you feel like it's like when you get tried, because I feel like people's going to try you.
Oh, yeah, I've been tried.
In life, you know what I'm saying? And then when they get to a point of like, all right, this is not what I really want. Have you ever encountered someone like, all right, let's go. Let's try this.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So then what happens when that happens?
Okay, the first time it happened, I was in high school. And I was, oh, man, it was probably been like the most euphoric moment of my life because it was my first like street fight where the guy fought back. And basically...
Was he bigger than you? Or
yeah, always. Yeah. And so... Funny story. So we're dancing. It's like what do you call it? What's those dances?
A dance battle?
It's not a dance battle. It's like the dance that the school put on. There's like
prom.
There's prom. There's homecoming. It was a homecoming, and we were there, and I was there with my friends. They're twins. Rest in peace. One of them passed away, but super the best dudes. And this third guy, he went to another school, and he came back to our school because he used to go there. Came back and he wanted to do a bet, like, oh, who can dance with the most girls? I'm like, first of all, I'm the dancer here. I'm gonna dance with the most girls. Like, why would you even? Okay, let's take the bet. So we're going, And I think at the time when he got angry, I danced with 9 girls. He had danced with 4. And then he thought I was lying. He was like, bro, like, there's no way you dance with 9 girls. And my homies were on witness, like, bro, he was dancing with like 2, 3 girls at a time. Like, and they were like, we saw it. Like, he's not lying. And so then, he got the bagging. You know what bagging is. Like, you talk a little shit.
Yeah.
And our rule about bagging is don't get your feelings hurt. Like, if you gonna bag, we're gonna bag.
We're going.
But whoever gets their feelings hurt first, you lost, and you should never play this game.
Yeah.
He get the bag, and I'm like, okay, I can do that too. And everyone's laughing at him, and he's kind of heated. And then the night goes on, and so I'm leaving now. I decided to go to the back of the school, and he's there with 2 other girls. And basically,
he knew it was coming.
He started bagging again, and I bagged on him again, and the girls he was with started laughing. So then he was upset, and he was like, all right, he said my government name. He's like, all right, I'm about to beat your ass now, blah blah. I said, for real? Like, because already that's a threat. So the one thing I don't do is threats. Yeah. Threats, I don't think I need too much of a reason to fight you now. Like, I'm telling you, we're gonna get down. Because
that's what you're mentally trained in the dojo, in Taekwondo. If someone threatens you,
we gotta handle it now. Yeah, we don't wait. I'm not gonna wait. So like, okay. I said, oh, for real? Like, you give me the green light? Like, he's like, yeah, I'm serious. I'm like, this is not for fun. I'm really gonna fight. I'm really gonna beat your ass. Like, I told him, and he was like, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, bet.
But he didn't know you could fight, or did he know you were training?
No.
Nobody knew.
No one knew. We don't talk about it. So,
right. Got you.
So I took my brother's chain on my big brother. If I'm scared of anyone, I'm scared of my big brother and my dad. There's only 2 guys in my life I need to be scared of. Like, so I'm thinking like, I can't break my brother's chain, because if I break his chain, he's gonna beat the hell out of me. So I took the chain off, and he was like, oh, you don't want to fight? I said, no. I'm about to whoop your ass. Just give me. This chain means more to me than whooping your ass. Yeah. But it's still coming. So I took it off and went to work. And it was funny. By the time it was done, I was on top of him. I was winning. It was almost felt so easy that I felt like it was a dream. And like I was on top, and I was like, boom, boom, boom.
This is at homecoming.
And
where was y'all fighting at? On a dance floor? Where was it?
It's in the back of the school. In the back of the school, like in the parking lot.
Gotcha.
And I'm hitting him, and then he's like, stop, the cops is coming. And so I'm freaking out, because I'm thinking, oh, is the cops coming? It's my first fight. I'm like, I don't want it to go. I want to get away with this. So like, I was like, are we done? And I let him up, and then I was like, we done? And then he was like, follow me around the school, round 2. I said, bet. So I
you were ready.
I was so ready. I ran after him, and not ran, but I followed him, and he went to the front of the school and got on the party bus. And I didn't pay for the party bus, so I couldn't get on. And then I didn't tell anybody about the fight, but I went back to school that week after the weekend was over.
Knew about it. Of course.
You beat up such. I was like, who told you about that? It was like, oh, someone said they saw you in the parking lot on top of them. Blah, blah. I said, I mean, if that's what they said. I don't like to brag. I take fighting very seriously, and I mean that even in I don't fight to embarrass you. I fight if I'm threatened. And if we fight, and especially if I won, to me it's squash. Like, and if you want to fight again, we can do that, but we're not gonna make it bigger than what it needs to be. Like, it's between me and you always. Not more people need to get involved. Like, I'll fight you as many times as you want. I'm that's what I do. But but I'm not gonna brag. So I let the school say what they said from people who saw it. But I was like, I mean, they saw it. I can't do anything about that. But I never like.
Did you get in trouble from the school?
Oh, I didn't, because it was on a weekend, and no one let the teachers know, which was good.
Oh, okay, so it's like the student type of situation.
Yeah, I was scared that my dad was gonna get me though, because again, I didn't know what was okay, like when to fight or not, because it never ever really happened. So when I came home that night, my dad was at this on his anniversary, I think. And so him and my stepmom were at a hotel, and so we went to go chill with them. And he's like, boy, who scratched you? I was like, oh, that son of a gun. And I was like, oh, nobody. He's like, boy, you get into a fight? And I just smirked super hard. He's like, are you for real? You got into a fight? You're like, tell me about it. So I told him, and he was like, okay, well.
Did you win?
Yeah. He's like,
that's the first. Is your dad black?
Yes.
Okay, that's the first thing I feel like. I mean, no shade, but I feel like if you're gonna fight, you better win that damn fight, and you better come home and tell me that you won that damn fight.
Yes, he better look worse than you. They were like, yes, this better be the. I was like, yeah, he didn't get no hits and he only scratched me because, usually typically people in street fight want to wrestle over like fighting. But yeah, and then I told him about it and he was cool with it. And he was just like, he just said, obviously, be careful going back to school because, kids don't like to lose.
Right.
And I was like, dang, you're right. That's another reason why I was be scared to fight. My biggest fear, right, is to beat someone up and then they retaliate with like crazy without just wanting to fight again. Because I'm not a shooter. I'm not a I got like hit. I'm not that guy. Like we can fight, but like I'm not gonna like you trying to go to war and guns. It's not me. It's not me. I'll tell you, it's not me. Like that's cool. Like okay, you can't fight, so you want to shoot.
What happens
cool.
with situations like that where it's like you win a fight? First of all, have you ever lost a fight?
No, thankfully.
So you've never lost a fight.
No.
What do you think? Like, if you was to lose a fight, how would you mentally go about that, and how would you think your father would go about that?
Well, so and the thing is, right? I would hope that
in theory, of course.
In theory, two things. One, I would hope that in the training that we have, it's like not only do we train to fight, we also train not to get hurt when someone is winning. So like, obviously we have to spar people who are better than us in class 2, and you're learning to protect yourself so you don't get hurt too bad. So I would think in a real fight, you have to gauge when you are losing and just lose the fight, but lose it with like standing up and no broken bones and like, okay, you got me.
With dignity.
With dignity, yeah. It's like you got me, but I can walk away at least.
Right.
Like
you didn't beat me all the way up.
Exactly, yeah. Like, so but if ever that were to happen, I'm very competitive, so we have to fight again for sure. And I'm down to fight again.
Run it back.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, run it back. You got me that time. Yeah. Can you get me again? Like, I'll fight you almost every day. Every time I heal up, we're gonna fight again. Like, and that's it. I will never take it further than that. I will never, bring in nothing crazy. Now, in the instance where people get crazy afterwards, everyone got family, and this is why I hate that.
Everyone got family.
I hate it because it's like, everyone knows somebody who's about it, right? Like, I know that. I have people, what I'm saying? It's like, everyone knows somebody. So, to take it there because you lost a fight, I think is childish. I think, because then if worst case scenario, people lose lives, even if, I'm defending myself or my family's defending me or my people defending me and things get bad, I would still feel so bad if life was taken. Like I'm not that concrete with like doing like letting that go down.
It doesn't need to go that far.
It doesn't need to go that far. Like again, just fight. And if you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. If you want to fight again, let's fight again. Or we can squash it. I think the beef. Luckily, I can say that like all of my fights when they've ended, we've squashed it. Or if there has been beef between me and someone, like. After the altercation.
It's almost like usually when you fight and there's a winner, it's not like a draw and there's a winner. It's usually majority of the time squashed because it's like, okay, you defeated me or you got defeated and it's over. Because at this point, it's like, does the person that lost, unless they want to, retaliate or do it again to where they win, it's usually just squashed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember back in high school, well, it wasn't, I want to say scrapping, but it was like, I remember we were in high school and you remember when the velour outfits was like a thing? So I remember we had like, there was a girl that wore this velour outfit back in the day and she was wearing like regular like draws with it. And everybody was cracking up because it's like, oh, you didn't wear a thong and everybody see your print and all of that stuff, and they were cracking up. So I'm cracking up too because everybody else is laughing. Why I can't laugh? You know what I'm saying?
She singled you out
some type of way. Yeah, I was like, damn, why I gotta be the person that, you know what I'm saying? Then it's the same thing. Like it was like, okay, we're fighting after school. So I'm like, okay, we're fighting after school.
Were you the smallest one?
I feel like no, we were about the same size.
Okay,
like we were about
the people laughing.
Was I the smallest of
Like did you feel like you're the least intimidating out of the people?
Honestly, laughing? I felt like she singled me out because I was actually her friend. Like, why are you laughing and I'm your friend? But I'm like, it's a joke. We're joking. Like, everyone's joking. You know, we're all joking with each other.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you're wearing this, you're wearing that, you're wearing this, you're wearing that. And I'm like, everyone was laughing, so what's the problem?
Got it.
And then so she didn't tell me exactly like she wanted to fight. She told everybody else she wanted to fight. So I'm hearing from everyone else. And I'm like, is it that serious? Because I laughed at her big draws. Like, she shouldn't have worn big draws. Like, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? So, like, after school, we went to the racquetball courts. Same similar situation. Like, not the parking lot, but the racquetball courts. And everybody was there with their little cameras out. And we were in Japan.
Oof.
So everybody was there with their little cameras out and stuff. And I was like, oh, my gosh, are we really about to do this? Everyone's around, huh? No, I'm Filipino. I'm black.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say that's tight. But also it's tight
I grew up in Japan. So it's, so
wow.
a lot of people do think I'm Japanese, but I'm not. I'm Filipino.
Okay.
So, we went to the racquetball courts and, she was putting her hair up. I was like, I'm not about to grab your hair. Like, it's not about to be one of those like casual fights. Like, we're about to fight. Like, this is not, like if you want to fight, we're gonna fight. Like, we're not gonna be cute.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's not, cute I don't feel like fighting is a cute thing. Like, I'm not. Don't get me wrong, like, I want to say this. I'm not proud of this moment. This is a moment that happened. I'm not proud of it.
It happened to you. It happened to you.
I just feel like, when you have situations and people put you in situations where they're like, okay, I want to do this to you, and why would you want to do this to me? And I'm not going to back out. Like, if you're telling me you want to hurt me, I'm going to be like, okay, try to hurt me if you can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I kind of was at mentally. And I'm in high school. So it's like, I'm at a point where I'm like, I was homecoming queen. And, I'm like, you're not about to, like, fight me. And everyone's watching. And I'm just going to be like, oh, yeah, beat me up. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. So, again, and I took taekwondo. So I'm like, oh, I'm ready. I'm not. And I know if I don't fight and you hit me and I come home and my dad, like,
it's always worse when you get home.
Yeah, so I'm like, no, we're doing this and we're doing it now. You know what I'm saying? This is what you want. So first it was like, oh, we're gonna fight after school at the parking lot. Then it was like, oh, we're gonna go to racquetball courts because the racquetball courts are closed, so nobody's gonna see us. So let's go to the racquetball courts. Like, all right, we make it to the racquetball courts, puts her hair up. So I'm like, not gonna pull your hair. So the first thing she does is literally takes my hair and grabs it and pulls it. So I'm like, oh, hell no. So I'm just like, I didn't, at that point, it was like when you're in that moment of fighting, you're not thinking like, let me swing. Let me just get to a point where I could just grab. Yeah. And I just literally like grabbed her neck and I hit her head on the racquetball wall. And I felt so bad. Like I said, I'm not proud of this moment. I felt so bad because, like, she passed out because I hit her head so hard on the wall. And she had, like, a knot on her head the next day at school. And it was, like, a whole situation. Yeah. And I told my dad, and my dad was like, why would you hit her head on the wall? Like, and I'm like, what was I supposed to do? I felt like every piece of my fucking hair getting pulled out of my scalp. It felt like, you know what I'm saying?
That was a chain reaction.
Oh, it really was. It really was. You did this and I did this and I didn't know what else to do. And at that point, it was no taekwondo. It was no punching. It was like, I'm going for whatever I can reach because I can't see shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, now what am I going to come to school and, say and do? And, this is actually my friend that I never wanted to fight with in the first place. And we're fighting over some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Where I just feel like that's just like dumb. And it's like, do we really got to go to school and deal with this tomorrow? And I'm like hoping that it's squashed. Right. You know what I'm saying? But like girls are different than guys, obviously. And it was kind of like, how are we going to like fix this situation to where it's not a situation? Now you walk around with a knot on your head and like I'm like
it's a reminder and
I'm walking around with a fucking headache because you're pulling my fucking scalp out, my hair out my scalp. True. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And I told my dad, like, what am I supposed to do? And when when you come home and you just want to fight, like it's a different type of glow.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I came home and did something.
Woo. Yeah,
it's like a cockiness. You feel accomplished and it's like your parents are like, like, what the hell's going on with you?
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, nothing, but you're just happy, and you don't feel good about what you did, but you feel good about the outcome of, not necessarily the outcome of they got hurt, but the outcome of you winning.
For me, it's like, now they know.
Now they know not to try me.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, that person.
But I feel like honestly, when you do fight and when you tell them like, do you really want to do this? They know then.
No,
like
they
you don't think so?
I don't think they do. I think a smart person does. So I think there's people who, there are oblivious people, and there's people who think you're bluffing because they're bluffing. So so like if they believe they're bluffed so much, they don't want to be out bluffed, so they have to take it to the max.
Agreed.
But again, once that physical thing gets in the mix, then those people usually after that they will never try you again because they just now it's not they know he means it. But then there's people who are about the action, so they know the look in someone's eyes when they also are about that action. Right. And I find that those people fight rarely. They normally
rarely. Like I'm not out there like, oh yeah, you want to fight now? Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not my character at all, and I don't feel like violence or fighting is the answer at all, ever, anytime. Not just when you're in a situation. And when you're in the situation, obviously defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself at all times, every time. But if you are getting threatened and like if you're gonna get hit in the back of your head, which is not meant to get hit, obviously protect yourself. 100%. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I was in a situation where I had no choice but to protect myself, and that was the outcome of me protecting myself. That was 100%. My justification, and I'm sticking to it, and that's what it is.
Afterwards?
Huh?
We got friends afterwards?
You know what? I feel like it took a while to get to that point of like, are we actually cool? You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I never had an issue. It was never, for me, it was never an issue whether I won or lost. It was always like, it didn't have to be that. You know what I'm saying? Man, it didn't have to go there. It didn't have to be that. It could have been like, girl, you mad at me, and I get that you're mad at me because I was laughing. My bad, I'm sorry. And we could have squashed it then. But it's like, now you're going around telling people this and that. And now I got to do something about it because you're not about to have me looking like a punk at school. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have no choice, especially in high school where it's like, you have a reputation. You know what I'm saying? Not saying go out there and beat everyone's ass. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, you're not going to be the person that is like, oh, she was the punk and she's this and she's that. And like in high school, like that's all that matters is what you build. I feel like when you're a kid.
No, true. You know that's your empire.
Like, yeah, that's your job. Your legacy, like, oh yeah, I'm getting good grades, and it's like that's good for your parents. The grades is good for your parents, but your reputation in school is what's good for you.
True.
So I feel like I was getting the good grades. I was good. But you're not about to play me, bro. Like, you're not about to do that. So I'm like, okay, this is what we have to do, and I gotta go home and tell my dad, and my dad's gonna be mad, and my mom's gonna give me a high five, but my dad's gonna be pissed. You know what I'm saying? It's always that one parent that's like, good job, girl, and there's one parent like, why'd you do that?
Right.
Now I gotta talk to your coach on the basketball team. Now I gotta do this. Now it's a situation. You know what I'm saying? Now you could get suspended, and you got good grades, and now it's,
you ever been suspended?
No, I wasn't suspended.
Oh, wow.
So they knew about it, but because it was after school, off of school grounds,
okay.
Then it wasn't, I didn't get in trouble for it.
That makes sense.
Like you said, the people knew about it, but the teachers couldn't really do nothing because it was like off school property after school.
So I've gotten suspended before, but not for that fight. I got suspended before that fight. But the kid didn't fight back because after that first hit, he was like,
when it's like they didn't fight back. Like, and that was my thing too. Like after I like slammed her head, it was like there was nothing left. So I'm like, I can't sit here and just like she already knocked out. What am I gonna do? Like I'm not trying to kill the girl. Like I didn't want to do this in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, just leave me alone, please. Like,
it's funny. I used to have this thing, and I still do this. I divide. Like I divide and conquer, or like isolate and like really figure out if you really about it. Like that's how I could always like see who was really tough and who was just talk, because a lot of people would talk tough in front of their friends. Yeah. And I'd be like,
and a lot of people talk tough to see if you'll try them.
Yes. And I think to myself, like, do you, and if I talk back, sometimes people think that I'm talking back because I have my friends with me, and I hate that feeling. Yeah. So like there's multiple situations where like I've gotten to it with someone and they talk that talk, And one of them was like, yeah, let's fight after school. I said, fight after school? We're gonna fight right now. I'm not waiting. I hate after school meeting up. If the problem happened in this moment, it needs to be resolved in this moment or it's done. But I remember like multiple scenarios. This one scenario we were bagging, guy got sensitive. He said, let's fight after school. I said, let's fight right now.
Why does it always have to be about like a joke going too far?
I mean,
it's people always like that.
People are sensitive. The most sensitive people be the ones that started too. I'd be like, that's crazy. You bagged on me first. But you didn't expect me to bag on you where everybody laughed. That's the tea. They didn't see it coming. So I remember I caught him in the hallway, and I stopped, and I caught him as in like I saw him and I yelled his name. I said, "Hey, bro, come here." And I said, "So what's up? You talking about that fight you after school?" I said, "We can do this right now. We can squash it. What you want to do?" I said, "Cause I'll fight you right now." He was like, I'm not really trying to fight right now." Oh, okay. So then squash. I mean, yeah. All right, bet. Squash. I don't want to hear I don't hear shit at all. No more. And I thought to myself, like, that's crazy. You was talking so big in front of everybody. Like, and again, I'm the shortest one always. I've yet to fight someone or be like, go at it with someone my size. It's always someone bigger than me. And happened again in high school. When I switched schools, this kid, I swear I used to think he was racist. But I think people had bad rumors about him. Like they used to say he had a swastika on his like back or something. I never saw it, but like he just gave off the vibe. But I was like, regardless of that, I like the way you talk about me. Like he was upset about me hanging out with his ex or something. And like at the time, I was a loner in high school, so if anyone came to me and talked to me, it was from their choice. I was okay with eating lunch by myself. I often did. But he said something to me crazy, and he had this huge dude with him. When I say huge, I mean the dude had to be like 350 like pounds. I was not fighting him. I don't care. Or if I'm fighting him, I'm fighting him dirty. I'm hitting you in the nuts. I'm biting you. I'm breaking fingers.
Biting him.
Oh man, I'm serious. There's no way you're not gonna get a honorable fight from me. Like because you're too big. If you sit on me, I could die. Like that's you got to know your limits, right? You cannot whoop everyone. Absolutely. Period. So I was like, okay, this dude's talking big. He got his big boy with him. Like I'll see you by yourself. And he must have did something to me. I don't know if he bumped into me or said something to me, and while we were crossing walking from class to class, and more people were around too, so he was talking his shit. And I got mad. I was like, okay. I became a dean's aide that year, so I could just walk the halls when I wanted to. I was walking the halls. I caught his ass by himself, and I was like, "Hey, bitch!" I was so disrespectful, and I was like, "Oh, that dude, you was talking to me, blah blah." I said, "What's up?" I said, "I will beat the hell out of you right now." I said, "Hey, nobody's around. Me and you, we can go right now."
That was the hallways.
Yes. Well, this is like our school. My second school was so big. There were like so many buildings that we were actually outside, like walking from building to building.
Right.
And it was just me and him. And he's like, "Man, I'm a trained fighter. Like I'll destroy you." That's what he said. And I didn't tell him I'm a trained fighter. I just said, "Okay, show me something." I said, "Show me what you know. I want to see what you got." He's like, "No, I really hurt you, blah blah." I said, "I don't want to hear none of that, blah blah. Like you a punk. Now, I didn't expect him to then, by the time I got to my next class, I got called in back to the dean's office. I was like, this is weird. Sure enough, it's him sitting there. And I'm like, this mom told on me. Like, already, I know, okay, your heart's not in it. Like, you told on me, bro. So then, like, he's explaining to the dean, he's like, yeah, I'm trying to warn him that, like, I'm a dangerous weapon and blah, blah. I said, bro, I looked at him right there in front of the dean. I said, I will beat the hell out of you. And the dean's like, why you want to fight him? I said, because of this stuff right here, like this little smile you be giving me, like these little like sly remarks, like you don't see it all, Dean, but like this is a good example. And saying stuff like that, like yo, whoop me right next to me and say, I will beat he's this close to me.
The dean was probably like, oh,
I was so mad. I was like, I want you to jump, flinch, like something. And then the kid left the thing, and then the dean told me, he said, look, I'll be honest with you, I'm grown. He said, if he wanted to fight you, he would have fought you. He's like, he would have come tell the teacher on you. I was
exactly.
Like, you're right. I was like, you're right. So
this is the dean telling you this.
The dean telling me, like, because the dean knew me from dancing too, so he was cool with me. I didn't get in trouble. He was just like, hey, he don't want to fight you, so just drop it. Like, but I said, okay.
Right. He came and told.
Came and told on you. Like, he doesn't, like, at this point, you're just harassing him if you keep going. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay. Like, I let it go. But I always try to isolate and talk it out or see what they about by themselves. And most of the time they're not about it. And sometimes they are. Yeah. And if they are about it, I respect them. This is what people miss about like fighting, right? Is that like when you fight, there's such a respect game whether anyone wins or loses, because now you know this person throws hands. To be honest, anybody I've fought and actually shared like contact with, if we out in public and I see them fighting a group of people, I'm jumping in with them.
Right.
Like we were enemies before, but now I know you bang, like, and you need my help, I'm gonna fight for you. Like,
Yeah.
because I now respect you for not just being all talk and you actually threw some hands. Like,
Yeah.
I hold that to the highest degree because I'm around a lot of talkers. I know a lot of talkers. I'll be like,
Yeah.
you really gonna throw them though?
Yeah.
Like, because you can say
no,
it.
that to me too. Like, one thing I can't stand is a bully. I cannot stand a bully. It takes more effort to be mean and frown and be grumpy than it is to smile and be nice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the whole bullying thing is just not, it's not cool at all.
No.
So I just feel like when you're a bully and you don't fight or you can't fight, what is the purpose of that? Like, it's all bark, no bite. And I feel like if you're gonna bark, you better know how to bite. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like there's a lot of barkers out here, just barking all day,
man,
on the internet, in the streets, just bark.
I tell my barkers, like, hey, stop. Like, and I be trying to warn them. I'm like, look, trust me when I say, like, you don't have nothing to prove to nobody, especially in situations where, like, you think you need to be tough. Like, bro, there's being tough and there's being smart. And I tell people all the time, again, in class in martial arts, pick your fights. We pick our battles. I've never been in every situation and thought, oh yeah, I can win this. There's some situations where I'm like, this is bad. Like, if a lot of people, much bigger people, it's like, okay, how do we do about this?
Be aware of your surroundings.
Be aware of your surroundings, and don't have to be the loudest one in the room. Right. If anything, at that point, I'm just conserving energy. like it's like if I get quiet, it's just as bad as me being like, yo, let's go. Because when there's no talking, I'm only thinking about, like, the critical hits. Like, I'm gonna hit you in the throat.
Oh,
like,
you're
I'm
being smart about it.
Yes,
you're
I'm being so smart. I don't have to be loud and bark. But, like, my friends, or not even my friends, but people I know that, like, whoa, I'd be like, dude, like, you don't need to. You don't need to be tough.
Absolutely.
Like, that's not a show of toughness.
Yeah.
Like, if they approach you and they disrespect you and then you do something about it, that's tight. But you ain't gotta punk them. Like, you don't have to punk them. Like,
yes.
I punked a couple people, but
yeah, no, I feel like too, respect is, it's better to have respect than to be feared.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather someone respect me than fear me because I'm barking
1,000% and
not biting. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I shouldn't have to bark. And I shouldn't have to bite.
Yeah.
Like, either way. It should be like, okay, I respect you and you respect me. But when it comes to that point of, like, all right, now it's beyond the bark. And now we got to bite.
Sometimes you speak in different languages. And sometimes the only language that is universal is a fist to the face. And I feel like anybody...
Who said it? Mike Tyson.
Oh, did he?
He said it best. He said, everyone wants to... What did he say? Don't fuck up the quote, girl. Everyone wants to say they can fight until they get hit or something like that. Something along those lines. I know I fucked it up, guys. Sorry. But something along those lines. And I just feel like, like, you can talk all you want, but until you get hit in the face, then you know how it feels.
Yes.
Dead on center, hit the button on the chin, like, wherever it is, and you feel that impact, it's a different feeling.
Then are you built for this?
Yes.
And again, anybody at fault, I respect. Period. You have my respect. I've never been like, oh yeah, this person's a B because, like, I beat him up or something like that. It's like, no, like, oh, they fought, like, no, they fought me. Like, I respect them. Again, they called me today, hey man, like, yo, some stuff going down, like, there's some people, blah blah, and I'm by myself. I will show up. And it's funny because I know a lot of people. I somehow make a lot of. I wouldn't say I make enemies because in my mind, there's a quote: "I have no enemies." But, like, I truly don't believe in holding hate and, like, ill will towards people, whether we go through something or not.
Right.
But I know some people do, right? So, like, some people can think, like, if they got to an altercation with me or anything, oh well, now he probably thinks this and thinks less of me, and, like, he probably wants to brag. Like, it's funny. I wish more people could hear me speak on it, because it's like how I view it is not how these, like, simple people think about it. Like, oh yeah, and I hear people brag about whooping people, and I'm thinking, like, it's gonna suck when you get whooped one day, because
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen if you
Yeah.
brag
Karma's
about it and
real.
talk about it to brag. Oh,
Right.
you got to ask what's coming that person's
You're
gonna
not even expecting.
Oh, and I don't need that karma. Number one,
Right.
and number two, when the fight is over, you don't have to brag. You can say what happened, but like,
Yeah.
don't belittle the person. Like, I always give
Yeah.
my respects. Like, and yeah, it's just like, again, my worst enemy could hit me up that, we got into it and be like, hey, bro. So I'm like, hey, bro, let's rock. I know you get down.
Yeah.
I get down. Let's go get down on some people.
Yeah.
I'm here to help. Like, especially, if it's just fighting. Like, oh, they bring a gun. You got to call some other people for that.
Okay. Speaking of, you have
Katana.
a samurai sword.
Yeah.
Here. So what's the story on the sword?
So, well, this is not real though. This is a
okay.
stunt sword. It's my practice sword. So, I have real swords and I train with real swords, but it's just staying used to like the feel of it and like the essence of it. I think when you train with a weapon, it's good to have it as much as you can. Like holding it, always kind of know when and ready to use it. But I train a little bit of Iaido, so I just carry it around. It's kind of like a staple piece / like a part of it's like another arm for me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so for everyone that comes on this show, we play this game called Dirty Minds, and it's have you played it before?
I haven't, but Dirty Minds.
So it's the world's cleanest, dirtiest game. I'm going to describe a word to you, and you're going to guess what I'm describing.
Okay.
In my description. So I'm going to let you pick 3 cards. Don't look at it. Just hand it to me, and then you're going to guess what I'm describing to you.
Maybe just going to pick off the top.
All right. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. After your panties are wet, you really need me. If you've got too big a load, I might go down on you. Sometimes you have to pay to stick your dripping thing in me. After I'm done...
Tampon?
No.
Oh.
After I'm done, you can pull out your wrinkled one.
Penis. It's not a penis? Is it a penis?
After you get me hot, I'll give you a tumble.
One more time from the top.
After your panties are wet, you really need me. If you've got too big of a load, I might go down on you. Sometimes you have to pay to stick your dripping thing in me. After I'm done, you can pull out your wrinkled one. After you get me hot, I'll give you a tumble. That's the best one.
It's not a penis. It's not a tampon.
The best clue, I feel like, after you get me hot, I'll give you a tumble. Sometimes you have to pay to stick your dripping thing in me. And if you've got too big of a load, I might go down on you.
Prostitute.
No. Clothes dryer.
Stupid. Okay.
After you get me hot, I'll give you a tumble.
Yeah.
After I'm done, you can pull out your wrinkled one.
Wow.
Sometimes you have to pay to stick your dripping thing in me.
Got it.
You've got too big of a load, I might go down on you. After your panties are wet, you really need me.
Okay. They're like riddles.
Yeah.
I got this. Okay.
You got it.
I'm good at riddles. Now I'm going to think of it as a riddle.
Okay. All right. I'm 8 inches long and made of latex. You can wear me for protection. You have to be careful not to stick your finger in the wrong hole. You stick your fingers in to try to get it on. You might have to use lube to get inside me.
What? I'm so mad. A glove?
A rubber glove.
A rubber glove.
Yeah,
Okay,
good
bad.
job.
Woo. I was like, let me not
All right.
overthink this.
Last but not least, when I'm done, you'll need to wipe off your holes. I can come many times in a row. You usually close your eyes when I spasm. My residue can drip all over your face.
Showerhead.
No, I can shoot all over the people around you.
Not shower?
No.
Sprinkler.
No.
Okay, go again.
You usually close your eyes when I spasm. Spasm. That's the best one. I can come many times in a row. When I'm done, you'll need to wipe off your holes.
Not a shower.
No.
Damn it.
My residue can drip all over your face.
Soap?
Sneeze.
Ugh. That's disgusting. Wow. That's a sneeze is crazy.
That is it.
Wow.
So tell everybody where they can find you, what you have going on, all that good stuff.
Yeah, guys, so you can find me on Instagram, Dance10Fiction, TikTok, Dance10Fiction Official, and on YouTube, Fik-Shun the Samurai, hence the katana that I bring around, and yeah.
And make sure you guys follow Fik-Shun on all platforms. You didn't get to talk about how you got your name.
Not at all.
Okay, so how did you get your name?
Okay, make it quick. So I was in high school, and also it's spelled Fikshun. So I had a dancer friend who we all knew a bunch of dancers, and they all had cool dance names. And I tried to name myself, and it wasn't working. And my dance friend was like, "Yo, bro, you can't name yourself. You gotta have someone else name you." He's like, "Well, I'll give you a name. I've named a bunch of people." I said, "Okay, cool." So I danced in front of him, and like we were like outside of my garage dancing. He's like, "Bro, sometimes when you dance, you know, your body parts don't look like they're connected. It looks unreal." And I was like, "Okay, so what's my name?" And he's like, "How about we call you Fik-Shun?" And I was like,
Got it.
at first I hated it because I was like, it's not really intimidating or like, and he's like, no, he's like, if people ask why they call you that, just say when you move, it looks unreal. I'm like,
Yeah,
"That's
there's a
kinda
story
tight."
behind it. I love it.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys tune in to Fik-Shun and all things that he has going on Instagram. Follow him on YouTube. Watch his moves, his samurai moves, and all that he has going on. And that is it for Telli Talks.